Hello, Evergreen family. Hope all is well with everybody. Can't wait to soon start meeting together. I'm Derek Schaefer. We're going to be going over Matthew chapter 5. It starts off with the pool of Bethesda. Bethesda is the house of mercy. The man that we see uh, is a paralyzed man. His legs don't work. And he's kind of the lowly of the low, which is something that I really noticed and felt was that he tries to make it this pool that heals those who enter it, but he couldn't even get to it because every time he tried, he'd get cut off. So he was the low of the low, and along comes Jesus and tells him, "Pick up your mat," and he suddenly is able to walk. So we see Jesus' compassion, finding the lowest of the low and healing them. But soon the man is seen walking. They recognize him. They see him carrying a mat, which is a sign of breaking the Sabbath in the legalistic Pharisee laws that they have that are based on the law of God, but not the law of God, though they present them that way. He is addressed and told, "What are you doing? You're breaking the Sabbath. How are you walking?" Just all these questions, and the man didn't know who Jesus was, and had no idea. Soon, though, Jesus sees him at the temple, and he addresses him and tells him, "Sin no longer, for if you do, worse may happen." I'm not sure why this was said. My take was that he saw him without his mat, maybe, and saw that he had been found walking and found with this mat, and the Pharisees brought this legalistic tradition, and he kind of folded to it and accepted it, put his mat away, and kind of almost forgot the miracle that just happened. And I think Jesus was kind of just telling him, remember, and don't sin again. Either way, this encounter showed him the man and it was Jesus. And so he went to the Pharisees and told them, "Jesus of Nazareth healed me." At this point, then we see the Pharisees begin their relentless persecution of Jesus. They bring the law that they have created, kind of like I said, based off God's law, but clearly a more politically driven, legalistic thing than God's law really was, and they begin to present it to Christ, saying, "You're breaking God's law." He shatters their belief and really puts his foot down and just says, "I am God." And this blows them away and puts a huge target on his back at this point. But he then goes into telling them not only, in verse 23, and he says, "That all should honor the Son, just as they honor the Father. He who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him." So blatantly, boldly saying, "I was sent by God, follow me." And this control that the Pharisees sought after, and this power that they had and wanted to keep, Jesus was saying, "No, it's not about that anymore. I'm here now. I'm God. I'm here. Follow me." And this, did not go over well. They begin to, again, continue to question him, and Jesus again then backs this up by almost using their system against them. The Jewish legal system, they was like ours, that 2 or 3 witnesses equaled truth. And if you corroborate what you were doing and saying with witnesses, you were considered truthful. And Jesus even says that I bear witness of myself. My witness is then not true, according to you. So, but then he says, I have witnesses. I have John. I have the scriptures, which you guys know and study, that point to me. And even greater than that, I have the witness of God that's written on everyone's heart. And that, I think, was a huge statement. And he then in verse 43 He says, I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another comes in his own name, him you receive. So pointing out that you won't receive God right here in front of you, written on your heart. You know the scriptures. You heard John. But if some guy comes with, in his own name, his own, saying he's his own kind of version of what to follow, and maybe has money or power or agrees with political things you agree with, you'll follow him, but you won't follow me. And I think that's just a powerful statement. That's kind of the nugget I pulled out of this was God heals in compassion, love. But these Pharisees who personally, I can find myself sometimes falling into their way of thinking. They pride their political stance and their power and money or different movements or traditions, and they forget that it's not about that. It's not about any of that. It's about love and the compassion that we see Christ heal in, and how we can and the world can quickly diminish that power through different legalistic movements or political movements that tend to divide and tear up compassion and make them what they're not meant to be. And that, we ultimately all have God in our heart. We have the truth written there. And I sometimes feel like that's where we should be going, and we should try to stay there, stay in that that realm, rather than find ourselves piecing together the Bible in a more of a legal sense or a political sense. That's kind of what I pulled out. I hope everyone is staying safe out there, and just enjoying, hopefully, more time with their families and enjoying life, and finding that compassion through Christ is the ultimate way to get through, especially times like these. So, hope everything's well. Have a great day.